Hello, everyone. My name is Coach John Berry, founder of Basketball Coaching Academy. In today's talk, I'm going to talk with you about the 4 ways we send messages to our players. Believe it or not, whether or not you know these 4 methods consciously, you're still using one of these 4. The very first one is praise. This is when the player does something that you like or does something that you've instructed them to do, and you praise them. Good job. Attaboy. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. Oftentimes, you'll praise a kid because you want to continue that behavior, or sometimes you'll go ahead and praise a kid because you want other players on the team to see that you praise a player for a specific behavior because you want them to follow the same suit. Here's the thing, though, that I want you to be mindful of. When you praise a player, that player will continue doing the same thing. So if you overly praise a kid for doing the bare minimum, guess what? They're going to continue to probably do the bare minimum. So use praise when it's really warranted and you really are super happy about, what they're doing. The second thing, or the second way that you send the message to your players, is redirection. This is one of my favorite ones because what you can do is if a player is doing something and they sort of have it half right and half wrong, instead of jumping on them and yelling and screaming at them, you can say, you know what, John, good job. I really like what you did, but in order to step up to that next level, when you shoot that jump shot, I want you to hold that follow through all the way through until you see the ball go through the rim. Or if we're playing some sort of team set, listen, when you catch the ball and the defender is tight on you, right, instead of just grabbing it and dribbling the ball, I want you to grab it, relax a little bit, survey the floor, and then make your move. But outside of that, I think you did a great job. So when we look at this redirection, we're basically taking what the kid did and giving them a few more fine details that they can use, that they can improve upon to even be better than what they did. The third way that we send a message to one of our players is reprimanding them. Now, reprimanding is the most direct and sometimes the most harsh way that you can communicate with your player. Here's the deal with reprimanding. You really only want to do this if there's behavioral problems, if they didn't follow your directions, or if they're apathetic about what they're doing. In other words, it's some sort of thing that they're doing that if they continue to do it and other players pick up on it, it's going to be a negative outcome for the player and the team. In other words, this is behavior that you just cannot tolerate because it's going to go counter against what you're trying to do with your program. So reprimand is the most direct approach to send a message to a player in the negative. So be careful and use this method sparingly. And the last way that we as coaches send a message to our players is to give them the silent treatment. Now, be careful with this one because by giving them the silent treatment, oftentimes that could signal to the player that what they're doing is acceptable. You may be peed off. You may be upset. So you just don't say anything at all because you don't want to reprimand the player. But if you're not careful, they may interpret that as it's okay. I can continue to talk and goof off. I can continue to shoot the ball the incorrect way. I can continue to play defense without bending my knees, getting my butt back with my arms extended, making sure that I'm right in front of the actual offensive player. So be careful. Also, by being silent, it also can show apathy. Players can consider that as you just don't care. So you're just not saying anything, and this thing can snowball and go in the wrong direction. So be careful with the silent treatment. I'm the first to tell you that I've often used the silent treatment over the years if I was very upset at a player and I didn't want to jump on them because I knew it was going to be a negative situation. So to protect the player and to be quite frank with you, to protect myself, I just didn't say anything to the player. I would basically, relegate that player and maybe have them work with some other coaches until the time was right for me to speak with that player. So in summary, whether you know it or not, there are 4 ways that we as coaches always communicate with our players. The first way is through praise. Second way is through redirection. The third is through reprimanding them. And the fourth is through the silent treatment. Just be mindful of this so that now when you're communicating with your players, you can be conscious about what you're doing. Until next time, my name is Coach John Berry, and as I like to say, let's lead our youth, let's educate our youth, and let's inspire our youth to not just be great on the basketball court, but to be great in life itself.